Hello and welcome back to the All Sports Network YouTube channel. For I am Jack Trulio, and I was once again joined by my co-host Eddie Vicente. We talked about our Western Conference All-Star predictions. Please, right now, go in the comments, leave your biggest snub, and leave your biggest surprise. Before we start, if you haven't already, feel free to hit the little red button down below, and also while you're at it, why not throw us a like? Also, if you have any suggestions for content you would like to see, leave that in the comment section as well. We'd love to hear from you guys.
So my first starting guard, I have Damian Lillard. He's just had an insane year. And I think the Blazers, after all the injuries, have surprised some people. It hasn't been the prettiest, but just everything Dame does with nearly scoring 30 points a game. The playmaking, I think, has been a lot better this year. Defensively, he's a smaller guard. He gives effort, but it's probably never going to be there. So who's your first starting guard?
Stephen Curry.
I have Curry as well. I think that's an easy one.
Yeah. In my opinion, though, I feel like Stephen Curry is without a doubt. I mean, he's just in his own league, in my opinion, compared to Dame. Because Steph, I mean, he has to carry this Warriors team to the playoffs. And it's amazing seeing. Because you know how like everyone was where they were trying to argue whether Dame might be a better shooter than Steph, which is ludicrous. But it's crazy just watching Steph like barely move his hand, at the logo and already having jump, already having defenders jump and all that. And so seeing his gravity once again, and the impact he has on his team is absolutely insane. Because I mean they've really turned it around since the beginning of the season, and we're probably going to see Steph drop like 50 and 60 a few more times, honestly, later in the season.
Without a doubt, and he's a very, very underrated playmaker. His assist number should be way up there. He's constantly hitting. Oubre is wide open in the corner.
Yeah, Wiggins what's another problem too, though, is that you have Oubre and Wiggins, guys who are not 3-point shooters.
It's never a good thing when you're starting Oubre and Wiggins.
No, those guys have been known to be slashers.
Mm-hmm. And I think Wiggins has been better both ways this year, but it's not that great still. So it's insane what Curry's been able to do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, his gravity is just insane, and he really knows how to use it.
Mm-hmm. I think our forwards will be the same here. I have Kawhi Leonard, Jokic, and LeBron James. I don't think we need to talk about those three gentlemen a whole lot. Everybody knows what they can do.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Let's move on to the... Oh, who was your second guard? Sorry.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, Donovan Mitchell.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He's been doing really good. He is the leader of that Utah team. And you can tell. Also, that Jazz team has been playing like crazy. And Donovan's really shown his ability. He showed his ability to carry last year. And now seeing him play with a team that is also playing great, it's pretty great to see.
I agree. He's had an insane year. I find it weird. People, I think maybe they expected more after the bubble, but he's been really, really good this year. And I was listening to some podcasts and they were having him like one of the last reserves that they added in. I didn't get that at all.
What would they want him? What more would they want from him?
Right, which I don't understand. He's a shooting guard, so he doesn't have to be the best playmaker, and he's been really good as a playmaker this year.
Yeah. Also, I mean, like you're talking about being a smaller guard. Donovan Mitchell has shown that does not matter at all.
Right.
Because he is one amazing defender.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Mike Conley.
Yeah, I was surprised that you had him as a starter, but not that surprised because he's on the best team in the NBA and he's the best player on the best team in the NBA. Record-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm honestly, and I'm very confident in this. Other than the Lakers, the Jazz can beat any team in the West in the 7-game series.
For sure.
If you say the Clippers, though, I feel like the Jazz have more depth, and they really do work as a team. It's not like taking turns or whatever, though.
And the
with
Clippers
the ball.
still have the same problems they had last year, if not more. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just because the Clippers, for example, they have Paul George. Like, I mean, he's been having good performances, which is great, right? But he has been talking a lot about how he's really changed, air quotes, and all that, and he does this every single time he has a good performance. He always talks about, oh, how it's different and all that, though. But honestly, until the playoffs come around, I don't really care.
I know we rag on Paul George a lot, for good reason, I feel like, but he is super, super talented. And
Mhm.
why doesn't he ever take ownership just once? Like, that's on me. You see good players when, their teams fail or, you know, maybe they're just BSing, but when they have bad performances in big games, they take ownership. I got to be better. I've never once heard Paul George say, I got to be better. It's on me. He's always, well, Doc didn't use me right.
And Doc was right because I mean his assistant's still there.
Right.
Um, and so people think it's just the head coach who comes up with everything, but I mean the head coach has assistants who help him come up with everything.
Right. You have your offensive guy and your defensive guy. It's like football. You have your
Yeah,
coordinator. You have it's not just all the head coach. And they didn't really
no,
change the
no,
staff.
oh for sure. Also, Paul George is one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA.
Hmm.
So whether he is used like that or not, he's still at the end of the day one of the best shooters. But it's also his fault for just not being able to hit the shots at all.
Right, hitting the side of the backboard.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I don't. I mean that's Doc didn't make you do that.
Mm-mm. For sure. My first reserve is Luca, who's had an outstanding year once again. Just already, what is he, 21? Going on 22?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Already
Yep.
one a top
21, I
five
think.
player,
Yeah.
arguably.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I might. Yeah. I don't know. Depending on the next few days, I might just end up switching Luca and Donovan Mitchell just because Luca is more talented. But yeah, no, I definitely do agree with you that Luke is amazing.
It was a coin flip between him and Dame, I feel like, as starters. And as a Blazers fan, I some bias, so I gave it to Dame Dollar. He's averaging 29 points. You know, sorry, I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to look here.
Oh, it's okay.
What? Oh, 8 rebounds and 9 assists, like nearly a triple double. Like that's insane in
Mm-hmm.
only his third year in the NBA. And I think he's been a little better defensively as of late. He's a capable defender, I feel like.
Um, I feel like Dame. I don't know. I just feel like we saw this. We saw like LeBron do this though. Where LeBron kind of like, for whatever reason, he'll just kind of like pick on the other team's point guard no matter who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel like Dame is just he can really suffer from that. Because yes, he can score and all that though, but in the playoffs, it's like he really can't defend anyone. He doesn't really have that motor like Donovan Mitchell has. You know, or like John Carter has. It's like yeah. So, um, I love Dame and all that though, but he'll never. I don't know. I just don't feel like he'll never do anything significant past the second round, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I was talking about Luca here.
Past the first round, I mean.
Mm-hmm. I was talking about Luca defensively. I don't know if
Oh,
you were
talking about
talking
Luca.
about
Oh,
Dame
my
stuff.
bad. I
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
Dame Dollar. Okay, my bad.
I was saying
But
it was like a coin flip between them starting wise.
yeah, no, no. Luca's been actually surprisingly good defensively this year. Um, we saw this last year in the bubble too. It's not really him being like having a super high defensive IQ or anything, because he just has a high basketball IQ anyway. But it's really just him being such a big body, and being able to use that to his advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. What's he, 6'7"? 6'7"
Yeah,
point guard?
6'7", 6'8", he's big. And he can use it.
Right, and he's usually guarding one of the weaker forwards or guards, so unless
Yeah.
he gets put in a pick and roll, he's usually pretty good.
Or even when he's on a point guard or shooting guard, you'll never see him get his ankles taken or anything like that.
Yeah.
He's always at least going to be serviceable, and that's you know, and that's okay considering who he is as an offensive player. You know.
Right. It it is important to say, just for how young he is, how he can.
Much of the it's amazing that the offense is basically ran through him exclusively. You know,
Mhm.
and it's like it doesn't even phase him. You know, because it's all like it just all comes out of him naturally. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's insane the pace and everything that Luca can play at, and he controlled that series. I know they lost, but that was like, okay, Luca's. We already knew he was legit, but it was just solidified that
Oh, for
he's
sure.
the man.
You know, I mean, 7 games, no Porzingis whatsoever. You know, it's like yeah.
Mhm.
Also, it's not like even without Porzingis, his best player is Dorian Finney-Smith. You know,
Right,
who is a 3-and-D role player.
or Jalen
So
Brunson at times.
and Jalen Brunson's he's a small guard. Who's also sharing minutes with like Trey Burke. So yeah, no, Luka's definitely in my opinion, we haven't seen it. Like I don't know, like he has that like ability to carry like young or old LeBron.
Mhm.
And I mean, I hope we don't have to see it though, because it is pretty sad to watch. Because no matter how much you do, you're still one guy. But it's definitely great seeing guys with that level of influence.
Mhm. No, I agree. My second guard coming off the bench is Donovan Mitchell, and we already hit on him, so you can go with your next guy.
Dope. My next guy will probably be this is hard too, because it's like um you
So many
know
good players.
well, no, because like I said though, it's Luca, but I might end up switching Luca and Donovan. I don't know, but for right now, it's
I
it's
got you. Yeah.
definitely Luca. Yeah. So you can go with your next guy.
Oh yeah, my bad. My next guy would be Paul George. Actually, you know, he's had an
Mhm.
All-Star caliber year. We rag on him for good reason, but he's if he's healthy and playing, there's no way he's not an All-Star.
Yeah, Paul George is mine too. All stars are regular season, things. So it makes sense. Because we do make fun of Paul George a lot, like you said, but he has been playing really good this season. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and we just hope he carries it to the playoffs. But yeah, no, I mean he's been playing really well though, alongside Kawhi for sure.
Oh yeah, and he's always a two-way presence. So even though he's terrible defensively in the bubble, but he's been there so far this season.
Yeah, or even the playoffs in general. I mean, he can not stop Donovan Mitchell at all in 2018.
No, he couldn't.
It's amazing how much we make fun of Paul George.
That should just be the podcast name.
Oh, for sure, honestly.
Why we hate Paul George.
Yeah.
All right, who's your next reserve?
Oh, mine was Paul George too.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
My next reserve would be Rudy Gobert. I think we bragged on him enough, but I've actually been fairly impressed with him this year. I think he's even stepped up a level defensively, which I didn't quite see that coming because he's already been really good defensively. Offensively, he's pretty solid. He's he's a screen. He's the best screen to assist guy. If he screens, you're probably going to score. And he's on the best team in the NBA, so I feel like it's hard to not have two players from that team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have Anthony Davis as my next guy. I mean, no, not I have Nikola Jokic as my next guy. My bad.
Oh, you started AD.
Hmm?
You started Anthony Davis instead of Jokic?
No, I said Nikola Jokic because I said Anthony Davis on accident because I was thinking of him.
Right, you don't have him as a starter, is what I'm saying?
No, I have Nikola Jokic as a starter.
Oh, okay. Who's
Yeah.
your reserve then? Sorry.
Oh, after Paul George, it'd be Anthony Davis.
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Oh,
I got
that's okay.
confused.
That's cool.
And then, okay, so I have a question.
Mhm.
I don't know if AD's playing in the All-Star game, so do we just want to, because I have him as well, obviously. Do we want to put him in there and then have a
Well,
reserve for if he can't go?
Well, I guess he is out for 2 or 3 weeks. But I mean, you know, he is an all-star player. I think everyone knows that, right?
Right. Let's do this. We'll have him in, and then at the end we'll add a guy in case he can't go.
Right. Sounds good.
All right. Another reserve of mine. It's a lot of guards, but I put in De'Aaron Fox. The jump he's made this year, I feel like it's hard not to put him in the All-Star game. Just everything he's doing as a playmaker, and we hit on him a lot last week, but just the quickest guy in the league, and now his shots falling. That's pretty scary.
Mm-hmm. No, he's amazing. That's how talented the NBA is now, though, is that we have to leave guys like De'Aaron Fox, out of most like point guard conversations, right. Because he's great for sure. No, but yeah. I guess my next guy, it would probably have to be Anthony Davis. I mean, not in
3 times.
No, my bad. It'd be Zion. He's been tearing it up. I mean, a few nights ago he had a game where the only shot he missed was a 3-pointer. Oh, it was against the Mavs. And we had 40 points, and he almost had 100% shooting. And so, he's playing out of his world. It's just that everyone loves LaMelo now, so he doesn't really get that much attention. But yeah, no, I would put Zion on that list.
Yeah, I too have Zion, and I don't think it's just based on hype. He's been really good this year, and the Pelicans are the best team, and he has his defensive flaws, which he's a young guy. He's still only played 40 games. He's trying to figure out the NBA game, and it's individually defensively he's fine. It's just team defense is horrendous, but I don't think that's enough to keep him off an all-star team.
Well, even defensively, though, I feel like, I don't know, he is not his potential whatsoever defensively.
No, I don't think he's totally 100% healthy yet either.
Yeah, well, even that, though, is just he's so superior to, like, most people on the court physically. I'm surprised he doesn't, try and use him more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he's been good.
Mm-hmm. My last reserve would be just, you got to put Chris Paul in there, to be honest. I don't think I need to hit on why. The Suns are a good team this year. He's been really good. I think people are like, why wouldn't you have Devin Booker? It's Chris Paul's team.
My last guy is actually Rudy Gobert, but he's not, in my opinion, I actually think he's not as good as he was defensively. He's gotten a little worse in my opinion. But he really plays his role, to the best way he can, and it's really nice seeing that, especially on that Jazz team, because it's beautiful basketball they're playing.
Sure.
Yeah. So
for how many shots they're taking and how many shots they're making is insane.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It's gonna fall off eventually, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, right, I'm not even sure if it will fall off, honestly. I mean, it's like you keep thinking that, but I mean, they just keep.
True. You hope it doesn't.
Keep shooting. Yeah, and if you look at their team, though, it's like everyone but Gobert can shoot. And it's been pretty cool.
Have you made it this long without hitting that little red button? Be honest. If you haven't, why not hit it right now? And while you're at it, maybe throw us a like so you can see more content like this. Also, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at all_sports_net for more great content. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed.